I thank Leonard for his kind words. He said I deserved them, and I reminded him that doesn't mean you very often get them. So thank you very much, Leonard Stair, Karen Roybal, who spoke. And we were going to have another guy who spoke. We didn't feel like, is Kim here? Yeah, Kim. Stand up and raise your hand, you scaredy cat. Okay. Here's what I want to say about Kim. Kim, when our family lost my children's mother due to non-Hodgkin's lymphoma at the age of 43, my youngest son was having a tough time getting his head back in the game. And Kim Price, without credentials, without certifications, without pay, as a volunteer coach, had a gift. And his gift was to get Dave's head in the game, and he did it, and we are forever grateful. Okay, I'm pumped. Here we go. Thanks for Brother Jeff McGillivray for hosting the kickoff here. Anna mentioned that. Jeff's training director here. He's on the bargaining team that secured the first project labor agreement in the University of Oregon history for the Knight Science Building, ensuring good wages and local hires for this project. Jeff, can't thank you enough. Anna mentioned Drew Lindsay, business manager, International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers 280. Drew also was on that team that secured that PLA for all of us. Drew, thank you very much. Thank you, sir. You know, there's a lot of friends from AFSCME here. Leonard is from the Teamsters, other labor brothers and sisters. Excuse me, sisters and brothers, thank you so much. Okay, I'm pumped. What do we stand for? What is the campaign of my candidacy for Lane County Commissioner from the 2nd District of Springfield? That for some reason, I don't think it's me yet, but I hope it's us soon. Had you all give up your Saturday to be here. Here's what we're for. We are pro good living wage jobs. We are pro community hiring agreements. We are pro responsible environmental stewardship. We are pro labor. We are pro local business, pro clean and renewable energy, pro retirement security for all, pro pay and gender equity, pro transparent government, pro citizen initiative, pro everyone's right to control what happens to their bodies. And what is this campaign against? We are against government waste and inefficiency. We are anti-corporate takeover of local politics and government at any level. We are anti those few career politicians whose moves are calculated ultimately for their own good, not for the public interest. We are anti the lack of sincere, honest attempts to represent all citizens equally and to find creative solutions to problems that plague us. And now, I know there happens to be someone here from Mr. Lyken's camp, kind of watching. So now, if you don't mind, a message to whomever you are, and to Commissioner Lyken, we are running to repeal and replace. Mr. Lyken, and we will be respectful during this campaign. Having said that, I think it's pretty clear what we stand for.
Yeah.
I think it defines our differences. I think it ought to make it easy for you. So here and now, I, Joe Berney, challenge you to debate. In fact, I challenge you to several debates. It's what democracy is all about, and you, sir, have a record to defend. I know this is the friendliest crowd I will ever address. But the unfriendliest was Tuesday, so it's okay. My friends, as I was saying, my friends and colleagues want me to tell everyone here that I am a seasoned educator, have built, owned, and operated 3 businesses, and am a coalition builder, that I bring people together, create good jobs, and increase standard of living. And that's true. And it's true I want to do that for Springfield and for Lane County. And they want me to tell you that I am not a career politician aspiring for higher office, as my age probably underscores, as is Mr. Lycan, and that is also true. But I'm running because I do not believe that it is right in a democracy for an unresponsive, bought and sold county commissioner not to go challenged. I'm running because what was once Peter DeFazio's and Bill Dwyer's county commissioner's seat now belongs to an individual who is anti-union, climate change denying, citizen initiative squashing, and not a very transparent guy. And as Kim told me, I'm running because it's the right thing to do. I believe and I thank all of you here, and I mean it, I'm humbled. That I gotta say, I'm getting ready, I finally calmed my nerves. My poor wife was dealing with them. I get over here, and a young lady walks up to me, and she said, hey, I came over here because my father told me to come. My father's Scott Handy. Her father was one of my high school students 40 years ago. Wow. 500 miles away from here. So thank you. And by the way, first contributions, as Leonard mentioned, from ex-employees. A good chunk of the first one were from ex-high school students from that long ago. So it's been very touching. I believe change is coming. I believe people who have worked hard all their lives, doing the best they could for themselves and their families, are beginning to step up, speak out, be heard. They are tired of being left out, tired of the status quo, tired of private interests trumping the public interest, tired of bureaucrats and politicians glossing over systems that don't work and needs that are not being met, and tired of the self-promotion and lack of vision of some elected officials. One of them happens to be the gentleman I'm running against. These are real people wanting to serve, not posturing. They represent the 99%, local citizens with children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, that possess no motive other than civic duty. I am one such person. Am I going too long? Okay. Kevin, wherever you are, ha. It bothers me to see too many of our young people disconnected from hope, meaning, and purpose. It bothers me to see our youth disconnected from a working future. To see people in our own communities working harder and harder and falling behind. With so many of us, just one sickness, one job loss, one bad break away from personal financial ruin. It bothers me that the average income of working individuals of Springfield is under $20,000 a year. I just read this morning, miraculously, Maddie read to me, that our county in 10 days had 5,000 families sign up for Section 8 housing subsidies. 10 days, 5,000 families, Lane County. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. I used to run programs that generated what are called LIHEAP dollars, Low Income Housing Energy Assistance Program. They're being cut. At the time, it was the tip of the iceberg, and all they were subsidizing a couple of months of utility bills for people so they could stay warm in the winter. I mean, what's going on? But there's a huge disconnect, in my opinion. Nationally, the stock market is surging. Unemployment is down. By traditional measures, which, by the way, as an economics graduate, I question, but by traditional measures, the economy is doing great. And politicians scamper to claim credit for something they had nothing to do with. Meanwhile, here, now, Springfield, Oregon, you know, the land the Lane County commissioners forgot. Housing prices to rent or own are going up and up and up, except for Karen's place. Medical and health costs, insurance premiums, and pre-deductible costs are going through the roof. Families don't have adequate child care. Jobs don't pay enough. College tuition is going through the roof. Wages in Springfield have been virtually stagnant for the last decade. What does that mean? It means in this great economic recovery, a lot of us are not enjoying this great economic recovery. And while wages are stagnant, I might point out now, and I assure you I will as there are opportunities, the pay and benefit raise our commissioner gave himself from our tax money, without anyone voting on it, is anything but stagnant. Even AFSCME had to go on strike just for respect from the commissioners, and my opponent, Mr. Lycan, walked away from supposedly good faith negotiations. He walked away after giving himself a huge pay raise and benefit raise on our dime. This is the only time I will get personal, but that is arrogant and it is unacceptable. My priorities include making sure our government gives a damn about the little person. Cares about working people, because a person should not have to juggle multiple jobs and work 50, 60 hours a week just to make ends meet and raise a family. The county should prioritize environmental stewardship, develop clean energy infrastructure, capturing those jobs for residents. When I'm on the commission, no one's going to tell me how to do it. I will tell them I've done it for $120 million worth of projects. And I appreciate that Mr. Sorensen at one time, about 10 years ago, tried to make that happen, but we need a majority on the commission. And care about the comfort and security of our elderly and the future of our children. Thank you. One thing I do not believe is a public priority, nor the role of county government, is helping the rich get richer. I've raised 3 children. I have 2 grandchildren. Most of these kids and grandkids live right here. How lucky could a guy be? I have more business experience than Mr. Lycan, and mine is real. I've created far more jobs than him in the private sector. And I've always been an advocate for social justice for all people.
Yeah.
I wish you could tape this, because this part, from being a tenured high school teacher in the late 70s when her father, Scott Hamby, was one of my students. Being an adjunct professor of education at the University of Oregon, to owning and building a cold storage and broccoli processing plant. From directing the nation's first farm worker training center for a coalition of 7 food processors and the Teamsters, to being founding director 24 years ago of the Lane County Regional Workforce Quality Committee, winning over $7 million, half of which we contracted with Lane Community College for displaced mill worker retraining, and half of it represented the first investments in school to work in Lane County. From being a volunteer mentor 20 years ago to a Springfield High School student for over a year and a half, to brokering a deal between the Energy Trust of Oregon and Umpqua Bank, which is called Green Street Lending, which exists to this day. And the last 7 years, while living here, built a business that moved markets to combine living wages with building renewable energy infrastructure in a way that's good for business, good for people, and good for the environment. And this isn't talk. $120 million opened by closing financial transactions that supported prevailing wages, community hiring agreements, local hires, targeting for those local hires historically excluded populations, women, minorities, and veterans. It works. It can be done here. Let's get on with it. I'm getting to the end. Our voices have been stifled in a seeming endless series of scandals in Lane County government, wrongful terminations, and consequent lawsuits, county payoffs, and county payouts, insider politics, and lack of transparency amongst some Lane County commissioners, and no independent auditor. No independent auditor watching over them. Kind of like the fox watching over the henhouse. All we want is a good life, a shot at a good life and a decent future. This is not radical stuff. To me, that means knowing that we can, each and every one of us, have food on the table, a roof over our heads, help when we need it, a decent place to live, in neighborhoods that are safe, so we can raise our families. Is that complicated?
No.
I don't think so. And raising the quality of life and standard of living for all of us here in Lane County, especially Springfield. So, this is a pivotal election, as you all know. It's going to probably be decided in May, thank God. I believe when the rest of the county and state, I'm being told the rest of the state, see Springfield and the county rise up and say enough is enough, they will follow. If we are successful in May, I will devote myself to the other 2 seats that are up for grabs. So yes, we can flip Lane County. And Mr. Sorensen will not be so alone. This is a turnout election. The more people that vote, the more likely we'll win. We need you, if you're willing, to talk to Springfield voters, staff registration drives, post to your friends on social media. This, I had to come out of retirement. I mean, this is David and Goliath, and we ain't Goliath. So, we're the underdogs, but I maintain America loves the underdog. Springfield will love the underdog, especially when the underdog, through grit and determination and passion and persistence, wins the day. Thank you. Thank you very much. Where have I heard that name before? And now it's my pleasure to introduce a mother, a grandmother, a great-grandmother, someone I've known. Is it not true? Someone I have known for well over 20 years, and someone who was behind me even considering this a long time ago, Pat Riggs.